came from a very low-income family. So as I went to a boarding school, and the majority of my friends were pretty well off. Had the father will drop my friends down in a Rolls Royce, I began to lust for all these things and things that I could never potentially have. Money was a got to me. I worshipped money at that point because it was the means of providing the luxuries that I want, the desires, the things that I urge for, I long for. I was in prison 3 times for all basically embezzlement of funds. It's linked to banks and insurances. So that's what I involved in the white collar crime. Put it all together, it would have exceeded more than $1 million. And the first time I was in the age of 26. That was 5 years, and then subsequently when I came out, thought I got my act all right again, and then again, didn't really had a very stable job, couldn't really make my ends meet. Then I went back to the old way of life again. But the third time that when I went in, that was the third time, that was 8 years, the longest. The environment changed, and the whole concept of prison had changed. There were intentional prison officers, and people began to take vested interest. In 2004, when I was in the prison sentence serving my 8 years, there was this officer that announced, everyone is going to get a piece of paper, and inside the piece of paper, there's going to be a yellow ribbon. And the symbol of the yellow ribbon is to send to your family, telling that it signifies second chance. When I looked at it, I said, what a stupid thing to do. It's yellow ribbon. And at that point in time, my family had nothing to do with me. They totally have dissociated with me because of the shame that I brought. My wife, my kids, my siblings. So it's a free letter. It's a yellow ribbon. So I intentionally wrote, I said, will you forgive me? And that was the beginning. And through that yellow ribbon, forgiveness was unleashed from my family to me. When my wife forgave me, she also said that I forgive you, but I don't trust you. I think those were very true words. Trust had to be earned, and I had to earn it. And I'm still earning it today. Has it been better? Yes. But in that moment of folly again, all that thing can be destroyed. So I had to redeem my trust with my wife through employment in the work that I call out to do.
I mean, is forgiving him is only one reason at that time. I never give up on him. Of course, I love him. That is no doubt, because otherwise it's very difficult to move on with this kind of situation actually. So that was my struggle, which always like two sides. I had to move without. I want to be with him. Can I give him chance? I always feel that no, it's okay. He will be all right one day.
So I got to know Anil sometime, if I'm not mistaken, in around mid-90s. We became very close friends. So he had placed some funds with me for investments. So when he was charged, the police officers came to my home at night, 3 of them from the commercial affairs department. So I had to go with them to the police headquarters. It was terrifying. They thought I was an accomplice. But after explanation, I was held there for a few hours overnight actually. And in the Singapore context, it's more like guilty until proven innocent. So I had to prove my innocence, and then yes, they realized that I was not an accomplice, and I didn't get a chance to meet him because immediately he was incarcerated, and didn't meet him for about 10 years from that incident. But I just knew right from the start that he's not a bad person. So Anil, I knew, just needed a little longer hand-holding, and I had confidence he will come back on the right path.
I think I have only this one last chance. And if I think I'm going to break this right, I think I will lose everything that I've built on, the relationship, the friends, the community, everything that I built on will just disappear. Forgiveness, I don't deserve it. Not at all for the things that I've done. But yet, that person is able to do right. Forgiveness to me is something, I can't put in words, but It's a very difficult thing, but yet it's such a powerful thing that it unleashes a freshness, a brand new love, an environment that you get so propelled to do much more than you can do because you've experienced that. So I'm a beneficiary of forgiveness because I've done so much. If I were to put all the measures of all my sin, I probably deserve death 10 times over.
When we talk about restorative justice, many people who went through the incarceration, recognize that they have very limited opportunities outside they serve the sentence. I think partially because of negative social stigma. People have a very low trust level on these people. But if you look at ourselves, God has even forgive us already. We as sinners. Why can't we extend that grace to forgive other people? And of course, I don't mean by blindly or just give people a chance and don't do anything. This is where discipleship, very important part of the journey. You don't just give them a job and expect them to do well. They need a hand-holding, period.
I was working in this in the old prison. It was a very small little call center there. And I was working and at that point of time, I would say that I was honoring the word of God very diligently. And in one of the passages as I read, right, is that anything that you do, you can do it to please God. That should be your worship. And that was the time that I said that I want to worship God with this work that I do. And that's the attitude that I had. And I really gave more than 1,000% because I had only one person that I want to please, and that was Abba Father. And then I was doing that. In the process of doing that, right, it caught attention of the management and as well as the CEO of that company, Mr. Larry, a non-believer. And he came to me and said, I like your attitude. And you have, just like the way he said to the tax collector, come down, I want to go to your house. This person said, you have talent. And I think you will succeed in your life if you continue to conduct yourself the way you are conducting yourself. And then when I released, we got connected again. And we were meeting for lunch or dinner every month, 1 month once. He would ask me, what are your aspirations? What do you want to do? I say no. Then I tell him that I'm hoping one day I'm going to set up a small little call center where I can actually have ex-offenders working in it. So why ex-offenders? I say ex-offenders, I tell him, are street smart people using their talents for the wrong reason. If I could harness that for the right reasons, they will excel. One day on a Saturday, out of nowhere, he calls me on a Saturday, can I come over to your place? I say, sure. He came over at 4 o'clock, sat at the table with me and my wife. He opens his bag, say, you said you want to start, right? I'm going to write you a $10,000 check and you are going to start this company and I'm going to guide you for a year. That's the birth of Agape Connecting People. The Agape was to honor the love of my wife that she had for this rascal like me, where she never gave up hope. And the word Agape signifies the unconditional love that she had for me. So we are a business unit that has 3 lines of business, a 24/7 call center, a training academy, and an employment agency. All these things didn't form in just one space. It came along the line as I began to journey into building this company up. The sustainability model is we started first where our margins were very bare minimum. Customers were looking at us not as a normal call center. Even though they may have a heart, but when it comes to dollars and cents, they always expect a huge bargain. So I would give it. But as the years begin to build up and the outcomes begin to show, the productivity that they see that, hey, you guys are good or better, that's when my bargaining capacity became better. Then slowly but surely, the rates will begin to have market competitiveness. And when we ask and negotiate for a price, clients would say, hey, I don't mind doing this because you know why? You also are doing a social outcome. So the economical return and the social outcome were very, very attractive for the client because I was able to position the narrative that look, CSR today has to be redefined. It's not about writing a check, but when you do business with us, you will get your outcome. At the same time, we are compliant to the penalties that will come along. But when you do business with us, you are not just helping an individual, you're helping a family to redeem their life with dignity, and you will see the cycle of effect happening.
There's nowhere in the Bible that say the IRR must be 25%. It's all man-made rules, right? However, I always now believe that a business is not created for pure profit. A business should be created to transform people's lives, right? Yes, profit is important for sustainability reasons. Without profit, you cannot be sustainable. So, but I'm nobody say is 30% IRR enough or 15% IRR fair enough. It's all a very judgmental call. But for me, it's about how do you shift from a typical Adam Smith economic theory, profit maximization, shareholder come first, right? To become from a pure profit-driven company to be a purpose-driven company. From a shareholder capitalism to a stakeholder capitalism. So all these require a paradigm shift of thinking that why are you creating the wealth for? Is it to glorify God or to glorify your own pocket?
Here I had aspirations, I had no money. I had a broken family, but I wanted to be an entrepreneur at the age of 41. Now you tell me in a natural thought process, is this possible? But through God's hand, everything is possible. So I started this, and here, as an ex-offender, I wanted to do a business that is the most sensitive in the prison, a call center. It is of the highest security risk. Talking to the prison officer, they must be scratching their head. An ex-offender, okay, but yet the door open.
Agape really means a lot to me. It's really like part of my family. You know, I'm looking forward to comes to work every day because I enjoy what I'm doing. They give me an opportunity to be what I want to be. And on top of that, they also allowed me to have time to spend with my family. The people here, especially the management, they are putting a lot of effort in giving others a chance. Learn on job. And they are very caring, and it's very, very different from other corporate organizations.
The biggest competitive advantage is your handphone, which is a distraction. Over there, you do not have handphones. So obviously, productivity will go high. Secondly, you have inmates who intentionally want to work, practically with a long queue. Everybody wants to work. So nobody wants to report sick or get sick. There's no leave, there are no holidays. So all this increases productivity. Where in the marketplace, all these things are given. An uninterrupted mind is where we find that is the best time to skill them and train them, because they will apply what they are taught. They can earn the kind of money they need, and that's a very big aspiration for them. A place where they won't be judged for whatever color of the skin is, or the kind of tattoos they may have, or for whatever crime they may have committed. They know there is a place in Agape that we call this the Garden of Eden, where they can aspire to be a better version of themselves.
Anil and I have had numerous conversations about the scope of Agape, right? Of course, it started out with the ex-convicts. It's a group that he wished to help. But since then, it has grown in terms of scope. It includes other group of people in Singapore that are underprivileged, and maybe are struggling to find jobs. I think Agape is in a very unique position that it is not just, it started out as a call center business, but it has since grown and morphed into a more connected business. It's really connecting potential workforce who may not have the skill or the capability or the credentials. They work with them, train them, coach them, and then potentially match them with potential hirers and employers and place them in jobs that is fulfilling both for them and as well as for the organization.
When I came out from prison, nobody trusted me. I have a wife who told me I don't trust you. I have our parents who were ashamed of me, siblings who don't want anything to do with me. So the only way that I could rebuild all these groups of people into an ecosystem where I can have relationship with was through employment. When I'm able to put bread on the table to my kids and my wife, slowly but surely, the reconciliation was happening. And as I began to build my business, the work that I do, trust was being gained from the marketplace, friends and all. And I think that even the prison began to trust me in what I do, allowed me opportunities to operate in their most holy place. Trophy of Grace is someone who has two lives. A life that is brought nothing but heartbrokenness, destruction, separated people, created a mess. A Trophy of Grace is someone who has taken stock of the past life, stepped out into a new space and rebuilt their lives, his or her life, on principles and values that others can see and say, I want to be like him or like her. And today the world is needing more trophies of grace. Common people. Common, normal, ordinary people who messed up big time and just come back live and making it right.